Market just lost one thing it was depending on. S&P 500, the Nasdaq Composite, and the Dow Jones Industrial Average all fell again. That's two straight down days, and the S&P is heading for its fourth losing week in a row. The S&P 500 actually just broke below its 200-day moving average. Brent crude is still above $100, and this isn't just a temporary spike. Key global shipping route, the Strait of Hormuz, is still disrupted, and there is no clear way to reopen it quickly. So even if the war slows down, oil supply may not normalize anytime soon, and this is where it hits markets. The Federal Reserve is no longer expected to cut rates this year. Markets are in fact now pricing in zero rate cuts in 2026, and some economists say the next move could actually be a rate hike. Not immediately, but possibly next year if inflation stays elevated. That means higher borrowing costs, less support for stocks, and tighter financial conditions. Gold is also down almost 10% this week, its worst week since 1983. Why is that happening? Even though the Iran war is heating up, investors sold gold for cash during the big stock sell off. Higher treasury yields and a stronger US dollar are all pushing prices down. Some investors, though, see this as a buying opportunity. Demand is still there from geopolitical uncertainty, inflation fears, and central banks stocking up. Even with the recent dip, gold is still up 16% this year. But here is what most people are missing. Some of these risks were already building before the war even started. There were already concerns in tech valuations and private credit markets, and the war is now amplifying those risks. That's why investors are starting to get more selective and why markets feel more fragile right now. Even AI leaders like Micron are affected by this. It just dropped 7%, not because the business failed, but because investors are cashing out their biggest winners. Despite the dip, analysts are still calling for a $500 plus price target. Key takeaway is market is dealing with multiple risks at the same time without the Fed there to support it.